Hey, what's up, guys? Jesse from Reconnect AI back with another video. In this video, I want to talk about how can we use AI to help local contracting businesses scale. So you may have heard of AI, ChatGPT, and you may have even used it a little bit. You may have asked it questions. You may have played around with the tool a little bit, but you might be asking yourself, how can I use this technology to actually benefit my business? Now, I just want to talk about some of the services that we have down here and why some of them could make sense for you and others may not, depending on what's going on in your business. But that's usually something that we discuss with businesses to see what's actually being currently implemented inside their business to make sure that we're not just throwing any service on top of what you're already doing. You may already be working with an SEO agency, you might be running ads, you might have other services going on that may not exactly make sense to implement if you're already doing something similar, right? But you may not be using AI in those services, and there could be a benefit of switching to a service that's using AI for different reasons. So let's talk about some of these services. First, I'm going to go from left to right. I'll talk about AI SEO, which is probably one of the most beneficial services right now. This is a new technology that we have worked by developing a software that can do all of the work for us. Typical AI SEO agencies, if you don't know what SEO is, it's basically just getting your website ranked on Google. So it's at the top of the search list for a lot of the different keywords and phrases that people are searching that are related to your services in different suburbs and different cities that you actually serve. So basically what SEO agencies do is they will create a lot of content for your website. And if you don't have one already, a website, that's something that we help create for our clients. And then we use our software to significantly reduce the workload on our end. And in result, we actually give those cost savings back to the owner of the business. Now, typical SEO agencies that are not using AI, they are going to charge thousands of dollars a month typically to run the service because usually they have to pay employees to write a bunch of content for your website that is going to get ranked for different types of services. And it can bring in quite a bit of business over time. And if you could see down here, there's some pros and cons, right? So the benefit of doing SEO in general is that, like I said, if you get to number one on Google for your website and for different key phrases, you're going to get a lot more traffic and people booking more jobs with you, right? And you get high intent buyers because these are people coming from Google searching for these services, right? They have a big intent or a high intent to purchase these services, right? Now, with AI doing the work for us, it takes away a lot of the service delivery for us, which is allowing us to automate the process once we onboard you and get all the details of your services and every city and suburb that you serve. And this allows it to be way more cost efficient than a traditional SEO agency. We charge $297 a month to run this service, and it's extremely valuable. So this is typically a service that we do implement in most contracting businesses if they're not already doing SEO at a proficient scale. Now, the cons of doing SEO is that it just takes longer to generate leads because it takes a little while for Google to index pages. And compared to something like running ads, you're not going to generate leads on day one or day two, but you will start to bring in business after 2 to 4 weeks of starting the service. Now, another AI service that we offer is AI Receptionist. So you could think of this as a chat widget on a website or even handling any phone calls that are coming in. It can handle it. It can book appointments. It can handle FAQs. And if you can see, there's some pros here. And I'm not going to go into like extreme detail for each service. I most likely will make videos on each one of these services going much more in depth. But I just want to give you an overview of what these services are about. So as traffic comes in from SEO or from other traffic sources like ads, you might have a lot more phone calls coming in, and being able to handle those phone calls and making sure that you don't miss any potential appointments that can be booked is an important part of the process. Now, if you don't have a receptionist, this can be a great fit to start handling those phone calls coming in. So while you're on jobs, this can handle that for you. Or if you already have a receptionist, this can handle the calls while they are not working, or if they miss any calls, it can, instead of going to a voicemail, the AI can pick up the call. So those are just some examples. There are some cons to this at times where it can repeat itself a little bit, but it's very, very minimal, and it's almost like non-existent, to be honest. But and then some complex inquiries that have to do with a very specific type of estimates may get tripped up a little bit at times, but we usually test those scenarios quite a bit before allowing it to provide those types of estimates or any types of information like that. So there are some barriers that we can put on it to make sure that it's handling all the inquiries as best as possible. And then another one that we offer is AI reputation management. This is essentially getting more reviews on Google, which can lead to more more customers coming in, reading your reviews, and then it also responds to those reviews using AI. Now, if you ever get a bad review, one of the best things about it is that it stays professional, and it tries to mitigate the situation and try to turn the situation around. Where if you felt personal about the situation, you want to reply in a negative way to a negative comment, you may not think about it at the moment, but other people are going to read those negative responses and then decide whether they want to work with you or not, which I've seen result in going to competitors. So allowing the AI to stay professional, take over this task so you don't have to think about it, and also make you look like a rock star, helps the customers make a decision to work with you. And then also it pairs well with SEO. If you're starting to get traffic, it also boosts your search engine optimization and get you to stay at the top of the list as well. So AI SEO and AI reputation management can pair really well together. But typically what we do is make sure that your SEO is good first, and then you could pair a service like reputation management with it as that's starting to build up. Now, the last one is AI ads and AI follow-up. Now, the pros of doing AI ads is that you can generate leads quickly and at a higher volume, and it contributes to growing the brand as well, because it could get your brand out on places like Facebook and Instagram, where typically most people are going to turn to a search engine like Google to find you. So it's not that you can't run ads on Google, but we tend to run ads typically more on Facebook because it'll bring some brand awareness. But there are some downsides to it as well. That the leads from platforms like Facebook can be a little less intent wise. They may not have as much intent to buy right away, but they were interested enough to click on the ad and fill out a form. And typically that's because they do have some intent to buy. And usually one of the issues with this is that it also costs a lot more to run. You have to spend more money to generate the leads because you're running ads, and you have to spend money on platforms like Facebook and Google being even more expensive. Even though it does have higher search intent, it's probably the most expensive out of all these marketing approaches. Now, it doesn't mean that it doesn't bring a good ROI over time, but it does cost more upfront. So with all this being said, and these different services, you just need to think about, what am I currently doing in my business to get business right now? Where am I getting leads from? And if I'm not implementing any of these currently, typically where we like to start is AI SEO. And then we can see where you may have any other bottlenecks that our services could potentially help with your contracting business. So if you like this video, give me a like on this video, subscribe to this channel. I am going to go more in depth into the different services that I have here and different topics regarding AI and how it could help your business. And I'll see you guys in the next video.